Every equine who comes to Hope's Legacy has an individual, unique story. Today we'd like to share some of the really special stories about horses we've met over the past year who have touched the lives and hearts of our volunteers, fosters, and donors. First, meet Rose Marie. You may have seen part of Rose's story in our newsletter mailed out last fall. Rose came to Hope's Legacy on September 6, 2020 with 3 other horses. She had a body score of 1, which is the lowest, and was covered in sores. Horses who look like this must be slowly reintroduced to food, so Rosie spent 6 weeks in our medical barn, conserving calories and building up her strength. She may have looked frail, but boy, was she stubborn. When she wasn't out for her twice-daily grazing excursions, she was busy at her hay net. Rose was determined to recover, and you could see her improvement almost daily. By December, Rose was strong enough for someone to ride her again. Our equine enrichment program team put her to work in the round pen. She also showed her calm demeanor by tolerating being dressed up for a Hope's Legacy holiday greeting card. Rose was adopted by one of our volunteers, Sharon. She's now ridden regularly, loved and cared for the proper way. Rose is a burnished bronze star in our Hope's Legacy world. Our next happily ever after story is an off-track thoroughbred who was born in New Mexico in 1997 and named Blue Gray Day. We now know him as Atlas. How he made his way to Virginia we are not sure, but he came to Hope's Legacy with 5 of his pasture mates on October 15th. Atlas came from a place where he had to compete with these other healthy horses for food, and he was always left out. What little food he could get was difficult for him to chew and swallow. His teeth were so bad the vets thought he must be close to 30 years old. But because he's an ex-racehorse, we were able to track who he was through his lip tattoo. Atlas was 23 when we brought him in last year. By making sure he ate breakfast and dinner every day and providing chopped hay, Atlas has steadily gained and is back to a normal weight. Because Atlas has melanomas in many places on his body, he's been granted sanctuary at Castle Rock Farm. He will live out the rest of his days with his buddies, Donkey, Dolly, and Cricket, who live next door to his paddock. Atlas has also made a special friend with one of our volunteers, Jane, whose hat he stole. If you're out at Castle Rock Farm, please stop by and say hello to Atlas. Our next story begins in the hills of West Virginia. Although Hope's Legacy generally only takes in horses from Virginia, another rescue asked for our help in rounding up feral horses in the hills March 13th. Who knew hundreds of feral horses roam the hills in West Virginia? Some were born there, and some were abandoned when they were no longer useful to their owners. We think that's what happened to Hillie. When I first met Hillie, she was down in a trailer. She was starved, exhausted, and dehydrated. I was pretty sure we were looking at a horse in her final minutes of life. But Hillie was given electrolytes and minerals to help revive her, and once standing, she began to eat and drink. Because Hope's Legacy was the closest rescue, we were elected to take her home, and we're so glad we did. For 2.5 months, Hillie has been the star of our medical barn. She has won the hearts of many volunteers through her gentle ways. She was even made an honorary giddy-up girl. And who would have thought female facial hair could be attractive? Hillie has grown a cute little mustache during her stay with us. We think Hillie is close to 30 years old, and we're not sure how much longer she has, but we're making sure her final days, months, or years are filled with love and kindness. On May 21st, Hillie was healthy enough to be transferred to one of our Rockstar foster locations, where she will be pampered for the rest of her days. During that rescue event in West Virginia, 8 horses were rounded up. Hope's Legacy was asked to take in another one of these horses, a very pregnant mare we named Redemption. We don't know how old she is or what breed she is, but she is truly feral. She spent the rest of her pregnancy term with Savannah and Jamie Hemp, who care for many of the pregnant mares who come into Hope's Legacy, and whose ways got Redemption to finally accept human touch. On April 23rd, Redemption gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby boy. Unlike his mother, baby boy has been handled by humans from birth. Both mama and baby will continue to be socialized, and will make someone wonderful equine companions one day. If you're watching this video before May 28th, Redemption's baby needs a name. You can have naming rights by bidding on Name the Baby in our Give Horses auction. Good luck. Our final happily ever after story is about Fudge and Cocoa, two miniatures who are 10 and 20 years old. Their owner was unable to care for them properly, and the main issue was the neglect they suffered regarding their hooves. Before the farrier can trim these hooves, we must make sure the bone structure hasn't been compromised, so radiographs are made before any of the cuts are made. Fudge and Cocoa were okayed after exam, and oh, the freedom! This video is what it's all about. We hope you've enjoyed our Give Horses Hope Happily Ever After videos. Thank you for watching.